We have one speaker today, and it will be Megan Gallagher. Megan's life was never the same after she learned the realities of human trafficking. She had always been a philanthropic, why can't I say that word? Sorry. And involved in the community service. But this was different. She just couldn't stop thinking about it. She knew something had to be done. Megan has spent the last 5 years educating herself on this issue and doing everything she can to fight it. She is most passionate about raising awareness to anyone and everything, and truly believes the more people that know about human trafficking, the better chance we have to stop it. Megan Gallagher, CL, is presenting project number 7 from the Competent Communicator Manual. Her speech is titled, "It Happens Here Too." Megan Gallagher.
Fellow Toastmasters, Martin Luther King once said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter most." Today, I'm here to talk to you about an issue that we cannot afford to be silent on anymore. The world is starting to realize that human trafficking is real, but what most people think is it's happening over there. It's across the United States, it's across in Europe. It's not here where we are. Today, I'm here to educate you on the reality that human trafficking is happening here in the United States, here in Ohio, here in Cleveland, in our backyards. Human trafficking is defined as modern-day slavery. This seems dramatic to some people, but let's take a look at what slavery really is defined as. People held or compelled into service against their will. This is the 13th Amendment, that this should not be happening in the United States, but yet it is, and modern-day slavery is real. So what is human trafficking? So many people are confused that trafficking is moving someone or transporting them from one place to the other. How many people have seen the movie Taken? Almost everyone. That kicked off a revelation that people can be trafficked, but it might have given people the wrong point of view. It doesn't have to be someone snatching you out of the car. In fact, it could be someone you know, and most likely is. The real definition of human trafficking from our law is the recruitment, harboring, or transportation of a person by using force, fraud, or coercion to control a person for financial gain. Now, our victims are exploited for a commercial sex act or for labor purposes. 20.9 million people worldwide are stuck in human trafficking today, and that is just what we know. These people don't come forward. This is a difficult issue, and some people can't even identify that this is happening to them. This is all driven by money and unfortunately by demand. And to this day, after 5 years, I still cannot fathom why the demand is there, but it is. And the issue is that people are looking away. People don't want to know this. They don't want to think that this is happening in their backyards. And until we start talking about it and coining it for what it really is, we're never going to be able to solve this issue. So let's take a little further look into what force, fraud, and coercion really are. I'm not going to read it to you because you can see this on the screen, but this is difficult stuff. This isn't stuff we talk about. This isn't stuff that you want to bring up. But when I saw that this was happening here in Cleveland, here in Ohio, here in the United States, I thought, what if this was happening to me? And I realized I would want someone to talk about it. So the recruitment, harboring, or transportation of, don't get that confused with having to move. This happens to people in their own backyards. And this happens through force, fraud, or coercion. These are the key points that our law uses to convict people who are trafficking other people. So let's get into some statistics and break it down for the United States. The United States sex trafficking, 300,000 are currently at risk. 150,000 are recruited annually. And recruitment was in that definition, right? Recruitment is a huge part of the industry. And unfortunately, I don't have time to explain the whole circle of human trafficking, but that starts from the top all the way down to the women that get stuck in this, and they end up recruiting as well. 1 in 3 people are runaways. Missing children end up in human trafficking or will be, 100% will be approached within 48 hours of being missing. These traffickers know what they're looking for. They look for people that are vulnerable. If you saw in that definition, they exploit what you don't have. And runaways usually have nothing, or they think they have nothing, and that's all that matters, what they think. And they're vulnerable, and they do end up in the human trafficking rings. So is it really a problem here? I'm about to blow your mind about Ohio, because we're the 4th leading state. We just surpassed New York this last year. And it's crazy because we live here, right? Everything's great here at American Greetings, and we don't see it, but it's real and it's happening. Human trafficking is the 2nd leading, fastest growing crime in the world. And what blows my mind about this is with a drug, you can sell that once. But a person, you can sell over and over and over. And these people that look at these human beings as a commodity are doing just that. This is humans doing this to other humans. And that is what set this apart from all other crimes to me. Looking at our Ohio General's Office, 22,650 missing persons, 18,097 of them being missing and runaway youth. This is happening to our youth. I hate to break it to you, but the average age of going into human trafficking is anywhere from 11 to 14. This is our youth that can be forced and coerced and tricked so much easier. They're not adults. They don't know. So Ohio, let's get in a little deeper. Ohio, we have 3,000 children high risk currently here now. 1,078 of them we can tell are being trafficked per year. Who knows what the number is that's really happening. 88% of trafficking in Ohio is for sex. And there's a lot of labor cases out there, but 88% of it is for sex. 84% are US victims. This kind of breaks that mold again where we tend to say, oh, it's people coming from over there to here. These are people here, and it's happening to them here. Why Ohio, you say? Well, we have a transit system that allows people to move from one place to the other. And this happens in truck stops, this happens in highways. We'll get into that a little bit. But look at our map. You can get anywhere from one place to the other in Ohio in 2 hours. And we have a lot of different places that people are trying to go. So while, not to confuse you, you do not have to move, it is a really easy state to move around in. So how does this happen? This is really hard, but 62% of people are tricked. This is an older boyfriend approaches the vulnerable. Hey, I love you, I promise you a better life, you don't have anything at home. Come with me. 35% are friends and family. This is happening in their own homes. And 3% are kidnapped. So there's the taken percent. And see how this just became a little skewed in our minds? We think human trafficking and see the 3%, but this is friends and family, and this is being tricked. So where does this happen? It's happening where kids are. It's happening in high-risk areas. And there's so many other places it's happening. We really aren't safe anywhere. And if we don't open our eyes and we don't know that this is going on, we're being exposed to it and we don't even notice. Just for your point of view, I wanted to pull up some recent Ohio headlines of human trafficking and show you how real this is. I am thanking God that we're calling it what it is now. This is new, guys. This wasn't what they called it. They called it prostitution. They called it several other things, but now we've coined the term. And Ohio, as bad as it is that we're the 4th leading state, we in itself have done so much to fight this cause. And I believe that is why we're there at the top, because we're looking for it. We're identifying it. We have a governor that is creating a coalition against it. Without that, we don't see it and we don't report it. So yes, we are high on the ring, but also we're fighting it and we're prepared to start talking about it. Here's the anti-human trafficking text line. Text Be Free. There's also local FBI. We are getting in there to the places that matter, to the police, to the nurses, to the people that will see this on the front line. If you see something, you should call. Before we leave, I have a handout of the red flags, things that you should look for and personally you could see out in our community here. And if you notice it, if you see something, what does it hurt just to call? So, now you know. You know human trafficking is happening. You saw the statistics, and it's happening in the United States. It's happening here in Ohio, and even here in Cleveland. William Wilberforce once said that you may choose to look away, but you can never again say that you did not know. And I challenge each of you to join into this conversation. Educate yourself a little bit more on the topic so that you can light a fire under this issue and be a part of ending it for good.